Blender for Noobs.
Hello, this is Dan Nobles and welcome to Blender for Noobs and welcome back to this tutorial on modeling your own car. In this part of the tutorial, part 7, we are going to be looking at further refining the car. And I'm going to go ahead and do a file save as and just name it part 7 here. Okay, in looking over the car, I've noticed a few things that I want to change a little bit. So if you've gone this far, you don't need to change what I'm going to change probably, but I'll just try to explain why I'm changing stuff. I was looking at this line here, this part right here. This is, I looked at it and it's like, yeah, that's really not good modeling practice to show you. So what I'm going to do is redo that. I also thought about these, this part of the door that I created here. Really, this opening needs to go around the entire frame of the door, so I need to fix that. So I'm going to delete that edge there and just created a problem for myself there, but I'll fix it. And that goes up to there, so I'm going to delete this edge loop and also this one here. Okay, and let me see if I can get this back into what it was before. So basically I'm just going to choose face, select here, and delete these faces, X, delete faces, and choose edge, choose these two edges, choose F to make a face. Oop, I got a vertex sitting in there. So let me X delete that. Go to vertex and yep, there it is. So I'm just going to select that vertex and shift select this one and choose Alt M to merge. And I'm just going to choose merge at last because this one is the last one that I selected and it's going to merge at that point. Okay, so now when I choose the edges, I can choose F to make a face and it'll fill in that. And this here, just going to kind of do the same thing, I think. Just choose these faces, X delete faces. Make sure there's no vertex here that I'm missing. Doesn't look like there is. And choose edges. Shift select these two edges, F to make a face. Can't do that. Okay, just going to fill in that entire area there. Okay, so what I was thinking is I want somehow my rear windshield, my rear window to come out to the side and go over. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to choose Control R and just make my geometry right across there that way. And now I'm going to add in these seams on the door. And I think what needs to happen here, I think I'm going to bring this back down. GG, just move it down this way and just move this vertex over this way. So in order to make that seam, I'm just going to choose face select and shift select all these faces here. And 3 side view and E, select off of it, S to scale, scale inward a little bit. And this side looks okay to me, but these over here look like they need to come out just a little bit. So I'm just going to pull those out. Pull this one up. Yep, up a little bit. So I'm kind of even there. And then really this door probably shouldn't be at the very bottom of it. And this isn't necessary anymore. Delete that. See if I can make a seam right along here. And bring this one up. And that's definitely not working the way I want it to. Let me undo that. I'm going to keep that edge right there, I believe. And let's delete some geometry here. And this is good. I mean, it's good practice because, I mean, a lot of times you have to go back and fix things that aren't working out quite right. So I'm going to X delete these faces. So I'm going to do a Control 7 to see the bottom here. And let's see, best way to do this. Choose edges, shift select these edges, Control 7. And I'm just going to choose E extrude and just bring this out so it matches that seam. E extrude, bring it out this way. E extrude, match that seam, and E extrude, and then we'll hook this together. And the way I'm going to hook this together is just select the vertex, shift select the next one, Alt M, merge at last. Same thing for this one. And those are merged, and what I need to do here is fix this so that these will come together. So this is a little bit tricky, but this is the way I'm going to do it. This is the existing geometry, so I'm going to take the bottom and merge it to the side here. So select that, shift select that, Alt M, merge it last. Take this one and that and this one here, Alt M, merge it last. It's going to create a little bit of a problem, but I'm going to fix that in a second. And I forgot about that side one there. Need an edge loop on this. And select this one, Alt M, merge at last. And same thing here. Okay, and then I got something wrong still there, but should be able to delete this face and this face. X delete faces. Okay. And let's see if this stuff is really connected the way it's supposed to be. Got a little change in the location of it, but I think it's okay. So you can check this if you've got them connected right by just going, moving G around and making sure that they are connected, and they are. So 3 side view. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I think that looks all right. And then what I wanted to do is put the rest of the seam right here. So Control R, and I just want it right there. And then I need to adjust this a little bit, just so for the seam it's going to be able to run that way. Something like that. Okay. And I think probably I got this top seam too close to the roof, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. The other thing to kind of note is the bottom of the car here. I mean, this geometry here you can actually get rid of, and I may end up doing that later, but just for continuity right now I'm just leaving it there. Another thing that I was looking at is my bevels for the wheel wells. I'm wondering if I need to pull out the bottom of the wheel well. Might look better, I don't know yet. But for now, I'm just going to leave them as they are. And another thing is the way this back is positioned. I don't want it to be sticking out that far, so I'm just going to bring these in. So you got this nice curve going back that way. And then, let's see. Something else that I thought of was the way that I did this trunk. It's basically this part right here, but in today's kind of cars, a lot of them, the trunk actually extends, or the opening here extends down into the taillights. So I'm going to change mine. Feel free to leave yours as it is, like this if you want to, but I'm just going to make mine extend down. So in order to do that, I am just going to choose edge select, GG, move that one into there, GG, move that one into there, and oops, not that far. Let's see. Yeah, that one's not wanting to go right on top of the other one. So what I can do, turn off occlude, B box select those, Alt M, merge at center, and then choose AA and choose W, remove doubles, to remove those other doubles that I had there. So if we look at it, you only have one vertex. So turn on occlude, and now I'm going to make my trunk again. It's going to actually, the easy way to do this, C-select all this, and go ahead and turn on occlude and see if I can get this other geometry. Okay, looks like I have it all selected. And E and scale. So right now the top looks okay, I think. A little bit of problem with doing that is it scaled along the Z as well, because I'm scaling in two different axes really. So the top and the bottom look okay, the side and not so much. So what I'm going to do is choose edge select, Alt select that edge, Shift Alt select those, and I'm just going to move this back just a little bit. Okay, and I think I'm going to go ahead and Shift select these two here and just bring that up a little bit so that it's even. Right there. Okay, and then probably what I need to do is this bottom of the trunk here probably needs to be higher up, just like I did with the bottom of the door, but given the amount of time, I'm just going to leave it as is. It's not too big of a deal. I can always change it later if I really want to. And then just kind of look and see my shape here. Sure everything looks the way I want it to look, kinda, sorta. Okay, and I'm going to do a Control S quick save. And what we're going to do now is go ahead and cut out the pieces that are not going to be there. So I'm going to choose faces, and just Alt select on this edge right here, not that edge, but that one, and that will select your entire seam of the roof, and choose X delete faces, which will leave a big hole there. And then I'm going to come over here to the door and do the same thing. Alt select right there. And that is almost what I want, but I don't want to select these. I don't want to select that, but I do want to select this, so I'm just going to shift select that one and that one. And that is the door seam. So X delete faces. And same thing with the edge of the trunk. Come in here, Alt select there, and that is exactly what it should be. So X delete faces. And there we have our seams of the trunk and the hood and the door. All right, another good Control S save. And I'm going to Control up arrow, come back into our view here, and I'm going to add the Solidify modifier. Add modifier, choose subdivision surface. I said solidify, I mean subdivision surface. Okay, and when you do that, you see your car's getting nice and smooth, but I'm going to bump it up another view here. Okay, and then if you want to, while it's selected, you can go into T and choose smooth as well, and it gets rid of that visible geometry that you're seeing there. And at this point, you're starting to see something that looks like a smooth car. So we can go in and now further refine our car. So Control up arrow and tab into edit mode. And we need to define really the windshield better here because it's very smooth there. So we could probably use this existing geometry here to do that, but unfortunately it's tied right into this seam. So I'm going to leave it as is and just do a Control R edge loop right here. And let's see, bump it up to the hood. Not right on it, but fairly close, because if you go right on it, you're going to create, you're going to have your double vertices, and you might end up accidentally deleting them, so I don't want to do that. And then for these vertices, I'm just going to GG move them out a little bit so they become not too much, not next to another edge that close, because the closer edges are, you're going to get some creasing. So you don't want creasing along here. So GG, and I'm just going to move these over like that. And then up here at the top, we need an edge. So Control R and just pull this up about right there. Same thing on the other side, just to shore that up. A nice creased edge there. Control R on this side as well. And on here as well. Something like that. That might be a little bit too much. Yeah, because this part... really want the back to be able to smooth over into the rest of the car, so let me Control Z undo that and that as well. I might still put one here though. Let's see. Yeah, just to give a delineation there. And then we need to fix the door here. Control R. Bring this up like so. GG, I'm just going to move it over a little bit closer. Same thing over here. Control R. Bring that up like so. And this part right here is kind of interesting. I might just leave it that way. I probably won't be able to get away with it, but it's kind of an interesting curve. I'm going to leave it there for right now. And then I'm going to choose Control R and put an edge loop right up here, just so we can get this part right here nice and square. Actually, it doesn't have to be that square, but... And then we need one down here. And I'd really rather the door kind of curve right here. It would look nicer. So we can probably, let's see, let me Control Z, undo that. See if we can get away with that somehow. Three side view, just G move these. Yeah, that's not going to work that way. Seems to me this should be matching a little bit better. Shouldn't have to cross over that vertex like that. And okay, and then the rest of this right here is way too close together. So deselect that, GG, move this up in the middle somewhere. Okay, that's a little bit better. Same thing for this geometry right here. And let's see if we can fix this door over here as well. Okay, I'll select this here, GG. Actually, Control Z, undo that. Just move these out a little bit. Same thing for these. Just to stay away from the creasing if we can. Okay, and we got problems I can see. So this is actually curved, and I created that that edge loop in here to keep it from curving. So see if I can get away with deleting this edge loop. It needs to hold this in place. So I'll leave that in there, and let's see if we can adjust this thing. Okay, and then we need some kind of edge loop here, so this isn't quite as curved on the body. Or something like that, I think. I don't want to get too much of a crease in this part right here. And I think I can fix that. All right, so Sun is getting in the way. Sun is getting in the way. Okay, probably just need to go ahead and put an edge loop in the middle here to help with some of this. Okay, still not too happy with this right here, but I'm going to leave it for now. Same thing for this over here, needs to be fixed somehow. That's not good. Why is that connected? Oh, I got that other geometry in there. Just need to bring that down a little bit so I can see where it's going. Okay, so yeah, definitely went too high with my opening here. But there is the door for now. I'm seeing a crease right here, and that's because of these two edge loops being so close together. So I can just shift select all these here. GG, just move them out a little bit. Still a little bit of a problem. Okay, not as bad. Quick save. And at this point, if you want to, if you don't have a sun, just do a Shift A, go to lamps and add a sun. And actually, I think this is a point. Let me see. Over to lamps. It is a point. I'm going to change this to a sun. Choose 1, 3, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of an angle. And I'm going to choose, on the viewport shading, I'm going to choose rendered. And this will give us kind of a little idea of how the car is rendering so far. And really, I mean, if we look at the render settings, this is only 10 samples. So not bad at all as far as the smoothness and the render of it, I think. Starting to come together. So I'm going to choose ZZ. That's an easy way to get back to your solid shading mode. And now we need to give this geometry a little bit of a lip, just so you don't have this empty space like it is. Because as you can see in the render, it looks kind of funny that way. So tab into edit mode, actually control up arrow. Select this, tab into edit mode, and it's going to, yeah, I'll stay in vertex select. And I'm going to choose Alt select this, and Shift Alt select this, and hold down Shift key and my middle mouse to pan along, and Shift Alt select the rest of it. So just so you have the entire inside, really the outside of the hood. And I'm just going to choose E, select off of that, and just bring it down a little bit. Actually, what I need to do there, Control Z, need to zoom in quite a bit because I don't want to bring it down very much, just a little bit here, something like that. And then E, select off of it, and then you can bring it down some more. And what that does is it just gives it sort of that edge there, so it doesn't pull all your geometry completely down. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing for the body of the car. So I'm just going to see if I can get the right selection here. I'll select the very edge here, and that's going all the way around like it should. So that's all we need. And same thing, zoom way in so I can see it. E, select off of it, and GZ, just move it down just a little bit, and then E, select off of it, and GZ, and bring it down some more, like so. And might still be way too thick. Looks like it might be. So if it does look like there's too much of a gap there, what you can do is I'm just going to C-select these vertices here. Actually, I need to turn off occlude. Make sure I get that bottom geometry, not that. But not this geometry either. 7 top view, and then I can move it in. And that's what I was saying really about when you create the gaps. I mean, you have to really make them a lot tinier than what you would think they should be. Well, it's kind of hard to see what's what here. Definitely don't need that stuff. Or any of that. Okay, and just going to move that a little bit closer there. It's looking a little bit better, I think. And then C-select all, or deselect all that. 7 top view, and I'm just going to grab these here and pull this forward. And actually looks to me like probably these need to come forward a little bit like this. What is that? Just doesn't look right. That is the interior of that bumper. Okay. Alright, so back in object mode and take a look at it. And then of course, let's see, looks like the edge here is a little bit too open still. Maybe, maybe not. Control S, and if you do a Shift Z, you can get back into rendered view. Okay, and that looks a little bit better there. There's seems to be an opening there somehow, but other than that, not too bad. Almost looks like the back part of it needs to come in a little bit, but it's okay. I'm going to leave it as is. So we really need to do the same exact thing with the door and the hatch. So ZZ and tab in edit mode. Go into face select and 3 side view and C. Just going to select all these faces here. Actually, what am I doing? That's not what I want to do. Go into vertex select and alt select and shift alt select this. Shift alt select this and shift alt select that. So you get the entire outline of the door. And I'm going to choose E, and I'm going to go along the X, but I want to zoom in quite a bit. And GX, just slightly. And E, select off of that again. GX, and then scale that in, or move that in. Okay, and then I need to do the same thing with the outside of the door, the body part, but this is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to alt select around here, and I'm going to extrude it, but the problem is going to be this very top is right on the very top of the car, so I can't extrude that back. But I'm going to do it for right now. So E extrude GX, just a little bit. E extrude, select off of that, GX, and extrude it back quite a bit. And while that is selected, I'm going to deselect, deselect all this here. And this part of it here I need to move down and maybe even scale in a little bit, just so it's away from the outer side of the window and outer side of the roof there. And just thinking about it, I mean, this may create a problem for me when I go to do renders and see this strip of metal that's sitting in there. So I may have to custom tailor that and fix it so that we look like we have a real door here. Because right now you just see this like opening. And again, I think, you know, this opening's probably too big. Yeah, I think it is, but leave it for right now. And let's move on to the trunk area here. So anytime you have, you're dealing with really with the y-axis here and the z-axis, and you try to extrude something and then scale it, it's not going to scale correctly when you're trying to do a lip like this, unfortunately. So we just have to kind of work with the geometry and get it the way it needs to be. So Alt select this, Alt select, Shift Alt select that, and Shift Alt select this. So that's the outside of the hood area. And I'm going to do E extrude and just move it down slightly. E extrude and move it down some more. And then just deselect all these verts here, and then take this geometry here and just move it in, and really deselect this, and we can move this up a little bit. Okay. And you may even want to adjust some of this so it looks correct, but it's underneath the body, so it's not too big of a deal. And then we need to do the same thing with the outside of the body, so Alt select this, Shift Alt select that part there, and that's all of this. So same thing, E extrude, select off of it, bring it down very slightly. E extrude, select off of it, and bring it down quite a bit so it covers any gaps. And it's going to be dark in there anyway, so it shouldn't show up, but just in case. And then deselect your verts along here, and then take this one and move it in. Deselect these and move this up. Okay, so we're just adjusting the lip there. And once again, the gap is too big, I do believe. But you know how to adjust that. I mean, basically you just take those these vertices like we did on the hood and just move them closer to the other geometry there. Okay, so Control S, quick save. And back into edit mode, what I want to do, I don't want this sharp edge along this the back here. At least not right there, I don't think. Let me take a look at it. No, I'm gonna try to bring that window down like that. I just think it might be kind of cool. It might be kind of stupid, but we'll see. If you don't, I mean, that's one of the good things about doing 3D. You can try different things to see how it looks, and then change it later. So what I want to do here is take this geometry, GG, and then move it in. So it gives us that nice curved surface again. Kinda. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do in this section of the tutorial, because it's running pretty long, let's see if we can get our windshields done. So tab in edit mode, face select, and C select everything here that's going to be glass. Okay, let's go ahead and scale in all dimensions. E, S to scale. And then E, select off of that and move in. And E again. and move in some more, something like that. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not sure I'm liking that at the bottom, but it's not doing what I'm wanting it to do. Control Z. This is usually the easy part in these windows. So E extrudes, select off of that, turn on include here so we can see. S to scale down. And I think what I want to do is perhaps move these over a little bit. I'm not sure. We'll see. Probably too much. E-extrude. And I'll just accept the way it's extruding there. E-extrude some more. Just move it down just slightly. I think what's bothering me is these corners at the top. Shouldn't be that far in like that. So C select all these corners. Actually, there's an easier way to fix that. Control R. Control R over here. So as long as we keep some curvature in there. And actually, before I do that, because I may need to do the same thing in the rear, and Control Z, take away that edge loop. Leave it out for right now, because I may need to do it over here. I don't know. Probably not the way I'm going to do this back window, but anyway. Let's see if I can do something here with the back window. Choose face select. Not sure how far down here I want this thing to go, something like that. Gonna look kind of weird. Okay, let's give it a try. E-extrude, scale in, and then E-extrude, scale down just like it shows right there. E-extrude and scale down just a little bit just to give it some definition. Not that much. Okay, something like that. Kind of interesting. Something is definitely wrong with this car, and I think it's the top. I need to pull those in some more or something. Anyway, we'll keep going. So now I'm going to do the window here. And probably wouldn't have a complete glass here. Maybe this would be like the side mirror there. So let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. Just bring that in there. Bring that down a little bit. We'll see how that looks. So this will be side window. E-extrude, scale it down. I want to scale it down quite a bit because I want to get it off that roof part. Kind of looks stupid. So E-extrude, scale it, and just bring it in. E-extrude, bring it in some more. Something like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this area here. Again, I think I'm going to move some of this geometry here. Nothing like modeling on the fly. Okay, E-extrude, scale in some. E-extrude, bring that in, E-extrude, and scale in just a little bit more. Okay, so it looks something like that. Pretty weird right now, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and Control R, add an edge loop in there just to make these windows less like a porthole and more like a window. That's the idea anyway. And I'm getting some creasing here. So we need to be able to fix this crease right here. And what I'm going to do, tab into edit mode. And in order to fix this, I'm going to choose Control R to add an edge loop. Just bring that up a little bit, not too much. And Control R, add an edge loop in here. Bring that down a little bit, right in there. And as you can see, that'll take care of that little problem there. But when I do that, of course, it's going to drag this geometry out a little bit. So I need to adjust this a little bit. Trying to see the best way to do this. Okay, need some more adjustment there, but anyway, you get the point. Another thing I noticed is on the door here, probably, and we'll go ahead and add a lot more thickness to that because, I mean, you can basically, at an angle, you can kind of see through it. So I need to add that. And something else that's kind of bothering me is the very tip of this car here, the front of it like this. I don't like the way it's angled like that. But unfortunately, if I try to smooth this out, move it over, I'm going to get into, having to redo this door quite a bit. So I'm not going to get into that here. I may redo that myself, but for now, for the tutorial, I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I think what I'm going to do now is take a break from the body of the car modeling and let's create some tires for this thing. So in the next part, part 8, we're going to be creating the wheels on the car. So I'll see you in the next video.